wish we were chasing waterfalls somewhere in North Carolina. And I wish I was holding your hand while your hand was holding.
Welcome to another episode of the Tailwaters Fly Fishing Podcast. Tonight, I'm joined by three friends and local fishing guides to talk about some of the details that go into making a successful day for their anglers. They spend their time and money on small details that are executed so well they can easily go unnoticed. It's not just about the bottom line, and that's obvious from our discussion. We're talking about these details not to complain, but so that when you step onto the boat with them or one of their colleagues, you might notice and maybe appreciate some of them. Between fish, obviously. Tonight, we're sponsored by no one, but we wanted to shout out the Blue Ridge Guide Association. It's an organization that's not just for guides. They do plenty to protect and oversee our local waters. If you live in the area, or if you're looking to make a financial donation to an organization making an impact, check them out. And speaking of local groups making an impact, check out the Over Mountain chapter of Trout Unlimited. They're an extremely active chapter, doing plenty of cleanups, stream sampling, and providing fishing opportunities for their members. If you live in the area, definitely get involved. Also, a special thank you to the Cherokee chapter of Trout Unlimited. Thanks for having me out to speak. It's a really great group of folks. If you're located in Greenville, Tennessee, or the surrounding area, look them up. All right. I've been thinking about tonight as kind of a guide appreciation night, meaning not that we're actually going to celebrate guides, but that we can kind of dive into some of the ins and outs of why you as a client may want to appreciate your guide on the boat. There's a lot that goes on in the background, and oftentimes when that's done seamlessly, you really have no idea how much effort has been put in behind the scenes. So that could be things like having a fully stocked fly box, accessing a private ramp, hosing out the boat the night before, or just making sure that the tangled up leader from the last client was switched out last night. So this isn't going to be voicing of complaints or a gripe fest. I've talked with each of the guests tonight, and they really are grateful for what they're able to do for a living. But we just thought it would be kind of fun to talk through some of the details so that clients really develop a greater appreciation for what goes into it, maybe learn a few tips. And honestly, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. All of our guests tonight spend a lot of time in the shop, spend time at our beer ties, and are just fun to hang out with. So first, we'll start out with introductions. I've got three different guides who largely work for different outfitters. So maybe we'll start with Drayton Moore. Drayton, tell us a little bit about your background.
Hey, John, thanks for having me on. So I grew up in Morganton, North Carolina, started fishing at about my teenage years, went up to Appalachian State, started guiding up there through college for New South Outfitters. And then the last 2 years ago, me and my wife moved over to the area in Bluff City and still doing it and loving it.
Awesome. And when's your wife making your next cheesecake?
Hopefully soon.
Awesome. All right, Corey J. Smith, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm from here, Elizabethton, Tennessee. Kind of grew up here. Was able to travel around a little bit the last few years, and then I moved back to the area and started working for Trophy Water Guide Service, and kind of worked in the shop for a few years and ran a lot of walking wade trips first couple of years, and now this is my third season of guiding, my first season out of the boat. So this is where I've kind of landed. I've been running trips for a lot of different people, and it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. And you also play a lot of music. When's your next gig?
Tomorrow night, Thursday night.
Oh man, where's that at?
I'm playing in Bristol at the Tennessee Hills in Bristol.
Awesome. I'll be surprised if I'm able to release this by then. But I'll try and repost something on Instagram or something.
Sounds good, dude.
All right, Braydon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Kingsport, about 30 minutes from Bristol. Got into fly tying when I was about 9, and then I started fly fishing when I was about 11. And grew up fishing South Holston and the Watauga rivers here. And then eventually landed a job with the South Holston River Lodge in April of 2021. And this is my 5th guide season, and still learning, still trying out different things, and just loving every second of it and soaking all of it up.
Awesome. So how many hours of sleep are you getting a night with your newborn?
On average, probably about 5 hours a night. Last night I got a little bit more. We got real lucky last night, so it's a learning curve for sure.
So you're well rested for this then?
Yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah, I'm
awesome.
Ready to go, man.
Good. Well, let's jump into fishing reports. Corey, I know you've been on the water, but let's just talk about how things have been going recently.
I feel like for the majority of the time, it's been fishing pretty good on both rivers. The last couple of days has slowed down a little bit, but for the most part, the Holston low water and high water has been fishing really good in the 1400, and then the Watauga low water has been fishing great.
And you got on some sulfurs today on high water, right?
Yeah, had a good sulfur hatch. They were like 18s and 20s. They were small sulfurs, but there was a bunch of fish rising for them, so it was fun.
Sweet. What have you other guys been seeing?
I've been on the Watauga most of my the past few weeks. Just dealing with, it's been random water coming through. You don't really know what you're going to get. Seems like the lake's flipping over, starting to anyway. So you're having some weird color change in there. But if you find clean water on the high water, then it's been really good. Low water's been great from top to bottom. So that's been good.
Nice. How about you, Braydon?
Yeah, I mean, basically what these guys said. I've been spending most of my time on the South Holston and that 1400 flow, and the past couple of weeks it's been extremely good. A lot of nymphing going on, but like Corey said, there's been some small opportunities there for dry fly fishing. And just like Drayton said, the low water Watauga right now has been exceptionally good, and there's not really any slow spots. I mean, every day has its moments, but for overall, it's been really, really good for the past month.
Yeah. Corey and I fished last Tuesday, low water, Upper Holston, and that was really good. Took us a few minutes to get dialed in. Fish were taking really small midges, but then it was just like it was very, very good.
Yeah, once you had the rig, it lit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen Corey's cast on that surveillance video you had. Corey.
I know you can bomb it out there, man.
Are you saying it was a bad cast or a good cast?
A bad cast.
No, what? No.
I know. So for those people who don't know, I have drone footage up in the shop all the time. Corey had actually never seen himself fish before like that, which I guess I really haven't either, thinking about it. But he was seeing how many fish actually spooked off the fly line because he was casting past them. So he was bombing it out there, man. But there were untouched fish out there, so you can't complain with the results.
Yeah. Sometimes I'd kill to have a drone to be able to see just how many fish are actually sitting 10, 15 feet off the side of the boat.
I've got some video from Mandy and I fishing recently, and what's funny is when you're out there, like, we felt like we were doing really well, and then you see how many fish are around you, and you're like, yeah. Well, I maybe caught 1 in 100. I'm not the fisherman I thought I was. There's just 1,000 fish around me.
Yep.
Like we caught like 30 fish out of that one hole, and we're like, man, we're killing them. I need to look back at the footage, and there's 400.
Yeah, yeah, not doing that great. Yeah. The only other thing I'd say is I've been Euro nymphing on the Watauga Sunday and Tuesday. Sunday was great. Tuesday was challenging. I don't really know what the big difference was, but it seemed like Tuesday was a lot harder for a lot of people, so I don't feel that bad about it.
And some days they're just bad days.
Yep.
I've been the time that I've been doing this has always just thought it was me. And then you
Yep.
call all your friends you connect with and be like, both rivers, they're just not doing it for a day. And that's just a real thing.
Yeah, that's been one super interesting thing about working in the shop is I'll hear from 15 people sometimes, and like everybody gets their butt kicked on the same day. And you're like, huh, okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
And
Yeah,
I've called,
it's like Drayton said. Some days are they ain't doing it. They're wild animals. They're gonna do whatever they want to do. So
Yeah.
and like I would have a bad tailwater day, and I would call my boys that I work with from due south, and they're on the creeks, and they're like, "Man, it was really good yesterday, but today just wasn't it." And there's no reasoning, we don't know why, just the way it is.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Have we kept track of like moon phases and stuff like that, and seen like what if the moon affects them in that way? Because I know that you keep track of it with like musky stuff.
I don't know about. I mean, I'm pretty sure the moon is more of a predatory response, and I mean, I'm not 100% sure on all that. I don't really know, but that's the moon and predatory style like fish. That's the direct correlation.
yeah,
But I don't know about trout.
I couldn't even begin to tell you. I got no idea.
I kind of go in and out of phases where I'm trying to track it, but my philosophy is always just like, oh, I can get out and fish, like I'm gonna do it, and then if I think about it, I check the conditions.
Yeah, just go fish.
Yeah,
You go fish and find out.
yeah,
That's my mentality.
yeah. Well, any before we dive into the subject of tonight's conversation, any general tips out there for the weekend wade fisherman? I'd say right now what I've been seeing, and when I was fishing with you, Corey, like very small bugs, and when I pumped stomachs on the Watauga Tuesday, I found very small bugs. So I think we're kind of, springtime, you typically see bigger bugs out here. I think right now, most of what you're finding is pretty small. That's not to say that fish won't take a girdle bug, but I'd be ready to use the smallest flies in your box.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that, I mean, I can't emphasize this more, would be like how to approach certain, like the runs that you plan on fishing, like your way of getting to them. As I mean, like we saw that footage of us walking or me walking, like while I was walking downstream, and you can literally see the drone footage of fish 30 feet away spooking out.
Because but you were like a jet ski, man.
I know, but like that just puts it like but like that just puts like an emphasis more, especially like right now the creeks are low, like you gotta have a plan and not just get up there and cast. Like there has to be some sort of approach to some of those stretches and runs, and like specifically on the Holston. I mean, if you're fishing any flat water, like you gotta
move slowly,
and take like the widest route possible. Like take the long road to get there.
Stand there and watch for a minute.
Yeah.
Try to find the fish before you cast.
Yeah.
I'd say my biggest tip, after you approach those fish is probably presentation. Get that drift right. Work on getting a good drag free drift and your depth, and that's honestly the most important thing that I've seen, especially from the recent guy trips that I've had. Is if I get one guy that's doing really well and the other guy that's struggling a little bit, it's if you pay attention, it's the drift. Who's getting a good drag free drift, who's getting a good mend, and feeding slack, and that's the biggest difference for me is the drift right now is the presentation.
Yeah. My thing is, since it's been cooling off, I'm seeing a few more fishermen out and about. And I think one of the best things you do, along with what the other folks have said, is just try to find some water that there's not a ton of people at. Just try to explore a little more, go somewhere where it's not, maybe you haven't fished all that much or you feel comfortable maybe trying out, and get away from the crowd a little bit, because that's going to be find some fish that way too.
I'm not going to say where, because some people might listen to this podcast that were there today, but I think I seen 11 waders in the same spot today. It was like 11 or 12. That's 2 days. 2 out of the past 4 days, I've seen 11 waders in the same spot. Yeah. Like Drayton said, There's more water.
Yeah.
Go find it.
Yeah. And the one place I'll say you were not probably is the Upper Holston, because that's the one place you'll see 11 waders, but that can actually take it right now, probably.
Yeah, it definitely could. Yeah, I was not on the Upper Holston.
Yeah. On low water.
No.
Yeah. Nice. Well, let's jump into it here. So again, we're going to talk about all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I think we've all, I know you guys are doing guide trips. We've all probably been on guide trips, and there's a lot of stuff that you don't think about. You're just having fun. You're enjoying the day. And you may not realize that there's a very small detail that took a lot of time or money or thought or whatever to get right. So maybe just kicking it off, I'll kind of ask the question, what do you wish clients knew that the guides do behind the scenes that they might not be aware of?
One thing that people think that we just go out there and sit in the boat or take you wherever. I mean, we talk about a lot of things with other people, and a lot of our own mental notes we write down. And I wouldn't say the word stress per se, but there's definitely a little pressure, going in every day. Whether you got someone that you fished with before, you got a beginner in your boat, you got someone very experienced. There's always just a little bit of pressure, like how can you push the envelope and do just a little better every day. As far as like preparation, I mean, people know that we're out there prepared. That's kind of how all three of us operate. Like you can tell when you get in our boat in the morning, like we're ready to go. But yeah, just a little more of the mental side of it. There's definitely that going on.
Yeah. I know, talking with a lot of folks in the shop, like there's a lot of people who worry, maybe lose a little bit of sleep, or even if they're not necessarily losing sleep, they're putting a ton of thought into, well, I can go to this place, but heck, Drayton may beat me to the boat launch, get into the best spot. So maybe I'll do plan B, or maybe I'll drive, part way, see if I see how many boats I pass, and then implement plan C. If I see a bird flying north or whatever it is, like whatever, all kinds of superstition and thought and worry,
I would definitely say the mental side of it is probably the hardest part for me, is especially when you're around, you're floating down the river, and none of us like to see, whether it's your buddy, whether it's a random dude you don't know, nobody likes seeing other people catch 10 fish to your one. Nobody likes that. And like we're all, every guide, most of the guys that I know, we're all extremely competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially like if our clients come in with a really good attitude or whatever, that makes us want to work harder. And like we want to put you on fish. We want you to break the record for the most fish you've ever caught in the day. Like we want you to succeed. And I think just the amount of hours that we spend on our off days out there learning, trying different things. And like for me, where I just had a kid, trying to balance that work and that family time is really difficult, because like, when I come home from work, it's not just like another job where I just come home, cook dinner, and I just sit down and do nothing or whatever, or watch TV or whatever. I come home, and like these other guys said, we call other guides, people that we work with, how has this been fishing? What flies you been getting them on? And then we sit down on our desk for maybe an hour and tie flies.
Yeah.
And then we go to bed. And on my off days, like I might get a couple hours because I don't want to spend all day away from my family. Like there's a lot of stuff that, like Drayton said, mentally, for us guys, that like a lot of people don't know, that balance act, and wanting to be the best guide on the river, because that's all of our goals, is being the best guide on the river and putting these clients on fish. And I think sometimes the mental side of it definitely gets kind of pushed to the side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do each of you guys tie either daily or every day you have a trip, or pretty close to it?
Every day.
Daily.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah, I would say like one of the biggest, I don't want to say challenges, but was like this off season, or this past off season, I had 2 fly boxes. because like all I did was weight trips. So I've had to build all like I would go to your shop and just sit there and tie and tie and tie. And so like I've had to build all these different fly boxes for different scenarios, like a weightless fly box or a scud box, or like I've never fished any scuds before. Like I was fishing all these creeks and streams. Like I've never done that. I don't like, so all these patterns and all these like different, like Drayton knows I had to build a caddis box for this spring, and I spent a lot of time doing that. And like there's so much bugs that go into it. I guarantee if you look at our, like if we have any pucks in our boat, they're just so full because like we're preparing or experimenting each day every time we're out there.
Yeah. And probably making adjustments based on what worked today, right?
Yeah.
I think the other thing about that not a lot of people realize about these two tailwaters is they're so different from a lot of other places people fish. Is from these two guys, I don't know, I'm not speaking for them, but for me, it feels like I'm throwing a different fly every single day. Like this midge will work one day and then they won't touch it the next, and I got to throw a different midge, or one blue wing works, the next one doesn't. Like it's constantly like a learning process each and every single day. It's like a process of elimination. And like Drayton said, there's a stress to that because it's like if an hour goes by and you only got a couple fish, it's like I better get this crap figured out quick.
I feel like they're more like that on the Holston. Like I feel like that like a bug would work.
I agree with that.
Like yesterday
I did fish the Holston a lot, so that's probably true.
Like yesterday I fished in the low water and like tore them up on a blue wing, and today I tried to throw it underweight and they just were like laughing at it.
Yeah, I feel like Watauga, you can get away with, I'm just going to throw a timeline out there. You can get away with a rig, for a week to 2 weeks, and that's just what they're going to eat. And then one day you just go out there and it doesn't work. And then you're going to find that next rig and it'll probably work, 3, 4, 5 days, whatever. I do feel like you get a couple more like days of grace with when you figure it out, kind of deal. But the farther down you go, I definitely think it changes. Like once you get below probably Blevins ramp, it starts changing daily. But above Blevins, it's pretty consistent.
Yeah. Well, let's talk in some detail about some of your daily costs. One, so that people can kind of get an appreciation of it, but like there's some detail there that I think is kind of interesting. So like if you run a half day, your shuttle might cost more than a full day, or if you choose to, let's just say, float the upper end twice, like you're paying for 2 shuttles and it probably costs you a little bit more. And so not that a client should, if they're sitting in the boat and they listen to this, they shouldn't be thinking, hey, why didn't we do the upper end twice? That's the most money you could have spent, and that's how I would have done best. But, that may not be the case. But I feel like there's choices that guides make every day that actually cost them more money that people don't know about. Or maybe even it's just like fly choice. Like you guys are tying every day. And I mean, you could probably get some generic pheasant tail type fly tied on there and, spend $1 or $2 a fly. So what are some of the costs that you guys deal with on a day-to-day basis?
Tip it.
Yep.
Tipping, gas. I mean, there's been a lot of time. Like I just really kind of recently started paying attention. Like whenever I'm driving from here to the Holston, like it's a 40-minute drive to get to the grades. So like I'm doing that drive, and then my car gets shuttled down, and then I run back up to drop people off, or then drive back home. Like I'm kind of burning through some gas a little bit there, and I'm driving a Subaru, and these guys are driving a 4Runner and a big F-150. Like they're pumping some gas too, and then like Trout Hunter Tippet. I think it's the best.
Oh,
it's not cheap.
running me dry, man. That Trout Hunter Tippet's ridiculous.
I will say, I before I opened the shop, this is going to sound naive, but I didn't have a full appreciation for how much guides spend on a trip every day. Like I see the amount of tippet that people go through, and in like some veteran, top tier people that they just burn through tippet, and it's crazy.
What is it like whenever since somebody did the math, is it like 10 cents a pull or like a quarter a pull or something like that?
I believe it.
Like
You hear the cha-ching sound every time you rip a foot off.
Yeah. It was like, I mean, if it's $30 for like 50 yards or whatever, 50 meters of trout hunter, it's like every time you pull 4 feet off of that thing, it's like 20 cents is going down. You start getting real surgical with your nippers.
How about
shuttles are a big one.
Yeah, shuttles probably the number one in my.
But like Vicky's, Jack's, and other places like that, those are all like private boat ramps.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's an extra $20 on top of the 25 for Vicky's, and it's an extra 15 at Jack's on top of the 25. Like that stuff, that stuff adds up real quick. And like you said earlier, if you want to run the top twice, the Jacks or whatever, I mean that's a what is that, $80 shuttle?
Yeah, and to be clear too, like, are you guys eating that typically, or
most of it?
For the most part,
yeah,
we might make a little bit, barely, but yeah, for the most part.
But if if that day works out in a way that benefits your customers, and they come back with you another time and want to do something different, like it was worth it, right? Like
100%.
Exactly.
That's the way I'm with it. Like it's worth investing into your people and pushing them and being able to like have them back in your boat at a later day. To me,
I agree with that. 100%.
Yeah, I guess my real point too is like I know you guys do this. I know there's other people who are out there who are honestly making the decision all the time with people in their boat that, hey, this might cost me, and I'm not even the one fishing, $20 or $40, but these guys are going to have a better day. And you do that all the time. And sometimes it might be a business decision about repeat business, but I feel like a lot of people make that decision regardless. And I don't think that the clients in the boat really understand that their guide's eating 20, 40, however many bucks to give them a better day.
Yeah. I mean, boat shop demerit is 55.
Yeah.
That's 2 private ramps.
Yeah.
Well, it's just down low with from like Blevins in the lower end, it's 35 just by itself. That's not even that's public ramps.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at other, I've talked to people across the guiding community and like out west and stuff. Like, yeah, it eats at you, but if you look at the grand scheme, I know some of my shuttles like up on my smallmouth water. I mean, it can get $80 for just one day, just normal. Like pretty thankful for where we stand right now. But yeah, that's definitely like probably our biggest cost.
I've heard out west is insane.
Yeah, it's minimum 40. And like I said, I'm thankful for what we got. I'm thankful, but that if you're asking what the biggest cost is, that's probably day in and day out. That's it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And what are some of your other major costs over the course of the year? So, like, I know a lot of people kind of get their boat bottoms worked on in the winter, rods, lines. Like, what say winter comes, like, what are you guys spending money on?
Tippet, leaders, fly tying stuff, and a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of time spent at the ice during the winter.
I mean, these rivers they're hard on the boat. I mean, I worked at high country boats this winter and just saw like how hard they are how hard these rivers are on them. And I mean, you're probably going to get 4 to 5 years out of like the bottom that we put on. I mean, that's not jump change. I mean, but it's a necessary evil. Like it has to be done because you can't be floating down the river and you're having to pump your boat out, halfway through the day, right? So, I mean, it varies on cost on that, but generally you get 4 to 5 years out of one that's run pretty hard, generally. So,
yeah. How many rods have each of you had break in the boat this year?
0.
Corey, it could be a 0 or it could be a 3.
It's a 3, Trace. 3.
You get
3
two
is
last,
big.
year was, last year was a record-setting one for me. I think I had 8 busts last year. I've been paying a little more attention this year to what's going on.
You just got to pay more attention, Corey. I think that'll solve your problem.
How have Corey? How did you break those 3 rods?
One of them, somebody stepped on him getting out of the boat.
Okay.
One of them was somebody was holding tension with their right hand and was trying to pull the line still through the aisle. That's that one. And then one of them, I got frustrated and was trying to put it in my car, and that was on me.
Then you just broke it over your knee because you didn't hit it.
Yeah. I need to get a rod rack, but no, it was going in my sub and it just kind of bent the wrong way. But that one where he tried to keep pulling it through, that was most frustrating.
It's making me grimace just thinking about it.
Like he wouldn't let the slack go in his right hand. He was holding the slack, trying to pull it through the tip. I'm like, dude. And he was bending it, and I saw it happen. And I was like, oh.
The worst one I ever had was my nephew hopped out of the boat and got a rock to look at the bugs, and he threw the rock back in my rod tray.
Oh,
he broke 3 rods at once.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
It's a good thing I was related.
How about you, Drayton? How did you lose 8?
Oh man, it was just a combination of. It seemed like it was last year. We had I was fishing a higher water a lot with bigger beads, and somebody would hit the beads or the shot or whatever on the rod, and it wouldn't do nothing instantly. But then somebody would just cast it normal and just fold over. And then a few times, just unaware of surroundings, we'd be going under trees, and there goes the rod tip up in the tree, gone forever. But I mean, that was just lack of attention to detail on my part, people in the boat's part, a little bit of everything there. Mm-hmm. But we're doing good this year. We're doing good.
Good. Let me ask a question if it's not too much of a needle in the side, but when people break or lose a rod, do they typically pay for that rod at the end of the day, or at least the repair?
I've had some people give like a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
I have had some people, chip in a little bit at the end. Most of my people have been very apologetic when it does happen, because it's not like they potentially broke your rod,
right?
But some people think they owe you a whole new rod, and like, dude, look, we can just get this repaired. I mean, I might lose a rod for a couple months or whatever, but it's not a big deal. But yeah, some people help out. Not all of them, but some do.
Yeah.
The guy that broke that rod tip probably didn't have his shoes on the right foot. He didn't know what was going on that day, dude. It was bad. That was that trip. I think I told you about it. It was that trip that he was still drunk at lunch from the night before.
Yeah, that's rough.
And I thought that he would be slow.
Corey, speaking of 2 right feet, have you ever taken a wade trip and actually brought 2 right feet or right boots or whatever?
Wow, man.
I know I have.
That's another level of preparation, though. Those wade trips, if they don't have anything, that's like the thing. The process of like leaving the house is like, okay, gotta have that, gotta have the boots, gotta have the waders, gotta have that, or leaving the shop if it has it. You got
to transition everything from your boat to a wade pack.
I couldn't
get everything, and then you get there and you're like, oh, it's in my boat.
Yeah.
Kudos to y'all, man. I ain't no way I would forget 5 different things if I tried.
Oh, it's easy. I mean,
it's easy
to forget. Bringing the whole thing. I got everything in a tray. And I just put it all in the car,
and then putting it back, like making sure it gets back in the boat box, or like making sure the boots and the waders, like there's nothing inside of them. Make sure they didn't leave their car keys or their wallet or anything inside of them. Like,
I've mailed back a many of wallets and phones and whatever else.
Yeah, making sure they're clean, making sure they don't smell like waders.
And making sure
you know
there
what
are
I mean?
holes in them.
That's a big one.
I mean,
That's a big one.
they don't make waders like they used to. That's for sure.
No.
Nobody does.
Dude, I put a pair of waders on, brand new pair of waders. First time I've worn them, brushed up against a rock. Sunday, hole tore right through them.
Oh gosh.
What is that chemical they're not allowed to use anymore?
PFAS.
PFAS, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still do wade trips, Drayton?
I'll do. I have a group of people that like to do. We do like a boat trip, and then we'll do a wade trip, and then so up in the Boone area, like I used to compete like competitively fish back in the day when I was in high school. So I learned a lot about the Euro style fishing. So I'll still offer that for the people that want to do that. We'll do it wherever. If they want to come over here, we'll do it here. If they want to go up there and do it, we'll do it up there, kind of thing. So I'll probably do 1 or 2 a month, depending on the month. So not a ton, but enough to where it's kind of refreshing every now and then.
Yeah,
just
breaks up the monotony.
Yeah, just do something different,
Worth cleaning the boat out and all that. It sounds like, yeah,
it's not bad at all. I enjoy it.
If you have somebody that can fish, wade trips, I think are more fun.
Yeah.
I think it would be good for people to do both.
I agree.
Because like the approach to holes are completely different. And like me and John talk about this all the time, like, because he wade fishes a lot, is just like he can get to a lot of places that I can't in a boat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he's caught a lot of big fish fishing these tiny little cracks and crevices where he knows drift boats can't go.
Yep.
And it's stuff like that. So I think
it's smart.
Not a bad idea for people to go try wade fishing and fish places they did not hit on their float trip.
That's my whole fishing strategy. I'm not trying to outfish you guys. I'm just trying to do something slightly different, and then I'll reap the rewards.
Yeah, I'll never forget that picture you sent me. Oh, that made me so freaking mad. I was floating down the lower end of the Watauga, and I passed him. He's wade fishing. 5 minutes later, sends me a picture like a 21-inch brown. I was like, that one stung. That one stung a little bit.
Well, the funny thing was I caught it like right before I saw you, and I got it back in the water so that like you guys wouldn't see it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I did that.
I'm glad I'm like, hey, look what I caught.
Hey, look at this.
Cool, John.
Are we gonna catch one of those? I don't know.
No, I can hear it in my sleep. I want one of them. Oh God.
Oh man. Well, how many times have you guys been hooked this year? Like by a client?
This year not that bad. Last fall was pretty rough. I got hooked like 6 times one day.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
I got hooked 5 times in a half day this year.
Was that the same day you got hooked in the face?
No, different day. I've been hooked. Besides like little like dinky stuff like in the net, I've been pulling it out too fast. Does that count?
No,
not really.
Hell, heck no.
Nah,
Okay.
that's on you, man. You gotta know where to put your hands, man.
I've probably been like maybe 8 to 10 times this year. I've been hooked, like in the back. Like
I'm under 3 here.
Under 3?
Yeah,
I'm probably right there at Drayton.
I have not.
Dude, what's happening to me this year?
You just gotta pay more attention, man. You gotta be more aware of what's going on.
You got a duck at the right time.
I bought some new like free fly hoodies, and like the first day I wore a blue one, I got hooked in the back, and it ripped a big hole right in the shoulder. I was like, man, that's.
They didn't pay for the hoodie, did they?
I didn't get hooked on this one, but one of the scariest one I ever had was we were on the low water South Holston, and I was towing this fly with like a big 4 mil bead on it. And this guy tried to cast with too much line, and I seen this fly coming right through my sunglasses, and it hit the middle of my lens, and it sounded like a gunshot went off. I was like, dude, how that didn't shatter, I have no idea. Like, that was the scariest one I ever had. So I thought I was about to lose my eye.
Yeah, I think sometimes they're real scary whenever they're like hung in a tree and they start tugging on it and it comes out.
Everybody duck and cover.
Oh, don't look at it. Turn. It's like roulette. Whenever that happens, you don't know who's getting hit.
Well, then it pops out and you get like a big wad of line laying in the bottom of your boat with a tree branch connected to it.
Just shut the leader off.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Have you guys had to pull any hooks out of clients?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I had to pull one out of a guy's cheek earlier this year.
Ooh.
The old braid trick still works pretty good for the old
Yeah, it
flies.
does.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Rutger had to pull it out of my face with the braid trick.
That was on the water in the middle of the trip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, can you pull over?" He was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry for creeping up on you. Can you pull over for a sec?" We were on a trip together, thank goodness. And he was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" I was like, "Got a hook right in the middle of my face. Just gotta be more careful." I just gotta be more careful in the ride, Drayton.
You're just smiling. You're smiling way more than everybody else. That's what it is, Corey. You just got your teeth out. That's all it is, man.
Nice. All right. Another question. On a bad day, how many flies will you lose, or any memorable days like that?
I lost 21 flies in one day. I'll never forget that day.
I'm not there. I'm probably more around the dozen to 15 mark for the worst one I've had.
Okay.
And it was particularly after Helene, because there was just so much debris
right
everywhere. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it wasn't no one's fault. I mean, you couldn't see.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there was just extra stuff in there that you had no idea was there. But it was, you just, it goes on and you're like, yep, you got them. And then it was just, how was it hitting something in there?
The amount of sticks and logs.
Like, come on.
The amount of sticks and logs I hooked in the Meredith Valley flat was insane.
Oh, they're there.
It was crazy.
I like a couple weeks ago, I actually had one of the worst starts of my day, but then it like got a lot better. So I lost like 10 flies. But I basically lost 4 rigs and a couple of breakoffs, and I still saw the bridge at the grates.
Oh my god, dude!
10 flies. Like,
did you hook the power line at all?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Well, at least you ain't done that. Okay.
Like, people are getting like caught on the grass because he broke off on like rock. I was like, all right, make sure we're picking it up right now, because it was during the 1400. I was like, make sure we're picking it up. It's gonna get stuck. This is like really shallow. And they didn't pick it up, and 2 flies just like that. Those were gone. And as I was pulling over to re-rig real quick, the other guy got caught in the grass. Like, those were gone. So like there was 4 flies quick. And then I got the front guy ready, was working on the bad guys. Front guy got caught in the grass again. And like we had to break him off. And then when that happened, the back guy got caught in the anchor rope, broke him off. And I'm like, dude, what are we doing right now?
The situational awareness was not there at all.
I was like, flies in the boat until we start moving again.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Corey, So Corey, have you seen that in my boat? How I kind of minimize that flies dragging in the water system, right? Have you seen that?
What are you doing?
So on my casting braces, I have one of those small cling magnets.
Oh yeah, I got that too.
Velcro too, or like I put a sticky pad, like a sticky Velcro, and then Velcro those magnets to it. And I'm just having folks, and everybody's loved it that's done it. I just have them put their like middle fly or their dropper on it, and when we go through a spot where like we're moving, it's like, all right, folks, just stick them on the magnet, and had 0 issues with line catching them or anything like that. It's always been
one of the smartest things I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I've had that. Because ever since when I think Carson showed me that.
Yeah, me and Carson I can't remember what we were eating or something, and we just like Max had just got them in the fly shop, and I was like, you think that would be good for that? And we did it, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, he showed me in the parking lot, and the next day I went and got, I think from John, I got 2 cling magnet and put in my boat.
Yeah.
And I've done that, but those were all on the move. Like those were like, we're getting ready to fish the left side, and they were not. We weren't like going. It does happen.
Just think, you might have lost like 20 flies if it weren't for those.
Sure.
And I mean, a lot of folks are just so amped to be there and so excited that sometimes they just don't think about things like that, and that's okay. I mean, it happens, but I love that they're excited for it though, because it's like, all right, I know you're amped, but let's tone her back just a little bit here. We ain't got very many of those left for today. Let's see if we can keep a hold of those.
Oh yeah, we lost those flies, and I was like, man, those are full, those bottom flies we're losing. I only tied 4 of those last night.
Send me a picture of that magnet, Drayton.
I will. I'll send you one.
It's genius. It like especially on the Watauga, like going through all those flats whenever they're not fishing, like the Broad
Any
Street
flats, any rapids, anything like that. Just hey, bring them in, folks. Stick them on your magnet, and there they go.
Awesome. It's awesome.
I'm gonna put a daggum trolling motor on my boat. Get to them flats a little bit quicker.
Save your shoulders a little
bit. Pushing through them things, man.
And hey, April, whenever you got a headwind going through the Broad Street flat.
Oh yeah,
that'll pay off, man. I might look like an idiot back there with the trolling motor sticking out, but that'd be all right.
You'd be digging some line out of that trolling motor too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that. That's a fair point.
Being the trolling motor on any saltwater experience is my worst enemy. The guy that I fished with just started taking it off when I come down there.
Oh.
He said, I'm just going to pole today. We'll just do that. All right, fair enough.
Well, we're about to get back into a busy season here. What does a busy week or busy stretch look like for you guys? Like, what time are you getting up? What time are you meeting clients? How long are you on the water? Are you tying flies afterwards? Like, what does that look like for you guys?
I'll lead into it. So generally, we're just going to assume everything's a full day. So October will be, I mean, it's already wide open now, but October is where it really, the significant increase in busyness. So I usually get up around 6, take care of the dogs, give me a little something to eat, load the boat up with what I need to load it up with. I usually meet my folks around 8. That's generally, I usually just stagger. Most of my folks are staying in Boone. So 8 o'clock seems to be the sweet spot. And then, we'll go out there, fish till 3:34, kind of depending on what they're, how we're doing during the day, how they're feeling, yada, yada, yada. So then I'll drop them back off, we'll say get home at 5:30, hang out with my wife. Then we'll eat dinner, feed the pups. Then we'll go, I'll get to the vise and tie, and then that's when the phone calls start. So it'll be an hour, 2 hours of just being on the phone with however many different people, talking about what's going on. And then you're tying a couple more flies based on what people are saying, or, looking at water flows and seeing where you want to maybe go the next day. So, and then I'm usually in bed by 9. Generally, I can't do the 11 o'clock go to sleep. I'm not worth anything the next day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's the day of my life generally. And then when you got, a half day the next day, or you had a half day, maybe get you a nap in there somewhere, and refuel a little bit. So
how many days will you do in a row?
I've had up to 18 days in a row.
You've got to be feeling pretty sore after that.
You're definitely, it's more like, it goes back to that mental thing, the mental side of it, right? You got to show up every day 100% for those folks, because it ain't their fault that you've been out there grinding through the rain, wind, whatever. They're there to have a good time. You got to show up 100% for them.
You think you go into a flow state? Like after 3 days, I feel like that 4th day is kind of just like I'm in it, and like I can just kind of go through the grind a little easier, versus like going those first couple, like the 2nd and 3rd day feel harder. And then once I get to the 4th day, it just feels like it's kind of moving and moving. And then I start getting tired.
I'm one of those people that's got to be doing something anyway. So I don't feel it like I never really feel like a flow state. It's kind of like flow state from, I'm like, all right, we got 10 days. Let's get after it. Then after about 10, you start feeling it,
Yeah.
You're hurting a little bit as far as any people think, man, you're just going fishing. And then it goes back to all other things that we do in a day when we get home, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
maybe to put it in perspective too, like from your perspective, Drayton, it's probably easier than like college football practice, right?
I didn't play college football.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I played high school. I got hurt in high school.
Oh shit. Okay. I'll edit that.
But no,
You edit it.
compared to college football, like, no, it is not the same. No, it is not the same. Some of my buddies were just coaches at App, and it was, I mean, they're on the clock, all day. It seems like no time for sleep. So, but yeah,
I feel like, well, let me say this. My day was a lot simpler than what it is now. Again, with that kid. But I'd say now I'm probably usually up by 5:30 because that's usually about when he eats. And so usually up by 5:30, make the bottle, do whatever, all that stuff. I usually try to, the night before a trip, I try to get everything done and in the boat, in the truck, and organized the night before. That way in the morning I just get up and go. So like used to, I was up by 6:30, out the door by 6:50. But now it's get up, make some coffee, drink the coffee, do whatever. Then like Drayton said, it's really similar. I get to the lodge about 7:30, roll out by 8:00, fish till 3:30 or 4. Usually home by about 5:00. Again, I mean, it kind of goes along with Drayton's, eat dinner, feed the kid again. Spend some time with the family a little bit. Then usually about 7:00, I'll start tying flies, checking flows. And there's a lot of thought process that goes into where I'm going to fish the next day and stuff like that. And then tie flies. And unlike Drayton, I can do the 11, 12 o'clock thing. I'm a night owl. I can't go to bed by 9. I just can't do it. So I'm usually asleep from like 11 to 5:30. So it's a long day, but like we were talking about earlier, if the day goes well and the clients are happy with it, it makes it all worth it. I'd do it all over again. And used to, I think my longest stretch of days was 13. But now with my wife and I like to take every Sunday off. So my longest days now are 6. We go to church and do all that stuff, and that's the longest days that I'll go now, 6.
So this is obviously going to be audio only, but for everybody listening, I'm looking at all the like sunglasses, tan lines on the screen. And it reminded me, one thing that's hilarious is in the spring, like everybody's like building up their suntan for the summer, basically. So there's like a week-long period where everybody's like getting sunburned, their legs are getting sunburned, their feet are getting sunburned, and then they kind of break in, and it's summer grind.
I'll say like my busy right after this, but like one time it was like my first day wearing shorts on the river and like I applied sunscreen and stuff, and it was only a half day. And I got to the boat ramp, and Matt Bain said, "This is your first time wearing shorts ever?" The tops of my legs were roasted. We're so roasted. That's funny. When it comes down to like the busy time, the longest I've been is 12 days, and that was the spring. I haven't really done the fall full time. This is my first full time year. But the spring I had 12 days in a row. Which was fun. And then, but the ending of it was where I do play music. There was like some grind days in there.
Talk about that. I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, cool in retrospect, right?
Yeah, for sure. There were some grind days in there because, I mean, I usually play Friday and Saturday. And so I would wake up at like usually 6:10, 6:20 is like what time I wake up, and then kind of get ready for the day, make sure everything's ready to roll. Grab some coffee maybe. And then I usually don't eat breakfast. I grab a Dr. Enough to get my day rolling. And then
classic.
I like
classic
that.
East Tennessee boy.
I like that.
get the East Tennessee running through my veins. And so then I have a doctor in the morning, set up my appointment. And then I usually meet, depending on the time of year, you don't want to meet too early. It's too, it might be stinking cold outside or the sunlight is also a big part of it. So you get midsummer, I was meeting probably 7:15, 7:30. I'll probably start meeting a little later now, like maybe 7:45 to 8 o'clock as it's temperatures and stuff and then flows dependent. But for the spring, during that stretch, going in, I had a lot of Friday, Saturday guide trips just because where I'm at on the list, I get a lot of weekend work, which is great. But I would be getting on the water and getting started my day 7:30 and then ending at I typically stay out a little longer. I'm a snail on the river. I go a little slower than a lot of people, and that's okay. But I get off a little later, probably at the latest or earliest, probably 4:15, 4:30, somewhere in there is what time I try to get out. And then so I would drop them back off if we're meeting at Food City, drive home, drop all my gear off, put all my music gear in, and be in Banner Elk and be ready to play at 6. So that's all set up time. It's so there's a lot of times that I would play from 6 to 9:30 and then drive, take all my stuff down, start that drive back, and then have something to eat, and then tie flies on top of that. So there's no breaks, and then wake up the next morning again and be able to try to do that at 100%. It's tough. And then that Saturday gig, wherever that is, got to be ready to play Saturday night too. So
I know how drained I am after being out on the boat all day. I can't imagine playing, performing in front of people. Sometimes I can't hold a conversation, let alone I can't even imagine performing.
I think I'd be the most hateful guy on the river if I had to do that. Kudos to you, man. That's crazy.
It was crazy. Remember I played at Tennessee Hills, Drayton? That was the first time I did that. I called it a double shift.
That's right.
Dude, I was so exhausted because I played 7 to 10 that night because I got off the river at 4:30 and then I had a little bit of a break before I got to Tennessee Hills in Johnson City. So it wasn't a crazy drive over there, but 7 to 10, and then I guided the next morning. It was brutal. That next day that I had off was a great rest day for sure.
What do you guys do to recuperate? You take a hot bath or just lay on the couch all day?
We all go fish again.
Yeah.
Generally, for me, it seems like if I have 2 days off in a row, first day is just chilling, maybe running some errands. Second day, it's all right, I need to be out there or doing, maybe not for trout or doing something else, right? Smallmouth fishing, whatever. Just got to be out there because I just can't sit.
Mm-hmm.
Never been good at sitting.
I think real recuperation almost feels like going brook trout fishing. That's a really big refresher in my brain. Hiking up a blue line really puts my brain into reset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Another really cool refresher, since Corey plays music, especially when he plays at the Riverside Tap House in Elizabethton.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like all of our guide friends are there. Everybody's having a good time just talking. It's hardly any fish talk, really. It's just, just people talking, and it's really cool. And that is refreshing.
Talking about the house that Aiden moved into, and
whatever, anything.
You never know what's going to come out of some folks.
No, those are awesome. Oh man. What can people do to be a good client? I know that we kind of talk about this in the shop all the time. I think the number one thing that I hear from guides is listen to your guide. Anything else come to mind? Any examples of that come to mind?
Yeah, I think Drayton hit a really good. He said a really good word earlier with they're wild animals, and I think when people they have an understanding of what's happening or what's going on, it definitely relieves some pressure, and a positive attitude and a general understanding. Hey, this is fishing. We're having fun out here. There are, I think Braydon deals with a little bit more people that are almost like a golf reference, pin seeking. they're out there to do that low water stuff. And like, that's what they want. Like they want to grind a whole day in the horse farm. Like that's what they want to do. And like, thankfully I don't have to do that right now, because I don't know how I would be able to do it. Like, I don't know how I would be able to keep people's like mojos up and give them an understanding. It's like, some days I just don't want to do it, you know? But when I've had really like hard days, and then the people have been so good, like the fishing, it still matters, but it was almost like they got off the river and we had a great day. Thank you so much for like cutting up and talking to us the whole day. But they understood that the fishing wasn't as good as it has been.
My number one hands down is attitude. Hands down. Like Corey was saying, like if you want to go grind, I'll go grind, but I'm going to tell you straight up what like how this program works. Like we could go down there and we may not even get a hit. Like you have to be patient. You have to have the right attitude. And like, that's just how it goes. And like Corey said, like if you got a rough day or slow day or whatever, the clients with the right attitudes and, that having like an understanding of what's going on, it makes your day 10 times better. 10 times better. I mean, because one of my favorite stickers I've ever seen in my life was "Guide, not God." We can't do everything. There's just no way. We can't make these fish eat our flies. We can't make the water go up, down, clear up, dirty up, whatever. We're dealing with Mother Nature. The conditions are going to be what they are. That's out of our control. And we're going to do the absolute most that we can possibly do to put you on fish, and hopefully a nice fish somewhere in there. But sometimes it just doesn't work out. But if you go into this with the right attitude and the right perspective of what exactly you're trying to accomplish from a guide point of view, it makes our day a lot easier.
I think you'll be more successful if you approach it with the right attitude, anyways.
100%.
Yeah.
One of my favorite. I think my favorite word for this question would be trusting your guide. And you can tell in the morning when you meet those folks and they're excited, but they literally tell you, I'm just, whatever we want to do is what you want to do. And we trust that you're going to work hard for us. And we're going to perform the best of our abilities. I love that. And I also love someone that's coachable.
Yes.
I'm not expecting you to be casting that thing out there like, a pro. That is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that wants to learn it, is there because they have intentions of getting the hang of it, or if their intention is to grow in their ability. Whether that might be, we went and caught numbers for the last 2 trips and really got you a good base. Like, all right, I'm going to take you down to another stretch that we're going to work a little bit. Like you're going to push your limits, and you're going to hook into a mean fish, and he's going to wear you out. Right. And not just being content with, oh, we just got, our another 50 fish easy day. I sat my feet on the cooler and, just rode. Right. So yeah, I like someone that's coachable and someone that trusts in your ability and what you think is right.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever sometimes people pick people up at the parking lot across the street, and they'll kind of come into the shop real quick before they start the day. And I've got drone footage up of the river, and I always try and like tell people's clients, first of all, I always try and tell them how good their guide is, like when the guide's out of the room, because I think it just starts the day off well. And then I try and get them to look at the drone footage, and I just let them know that those fish are in the river. And it's usually like over 20 to 28 inch fish. And I let them know those fish are in the river. There's no guarantee that they're going to be eating today, but like all it takes is one bite to make your day or make your year. And so even if it's a tough day, like I can't tell you the number of times where I've had like a rough day, and just by keeping your head in the game, when that one off chance thing happens, like you can capitalize on it. And so I try and get them to like in that mindset so that they're kind of set for the day for you guys.
Yeah, that was going to be my second one, was expectations. Like I get a lot of people that come here that have never touched a fly rod or done it once or twice, and all they can think about is like big fish, big fish, big fish, big fish. And it's like, I think it would benefit a lot of people to like not solely focused on what you see on Instagram and Facebook, what gets posted. Make phone calls to the shop you're thinking about guiding with and being like, hey, give me the rundown of like what we should expect, like truthfully. Because do we have a lot of big fish on this river? Yes, absolutely. They're everywhere. However, they're big for a reason. You know, they don't get caught 25 times a year. And especially if you're a beginner, you need to like, you know, and one of my guy buddies today, Andrew Bright, said it best. He's like, you need to crawl before you can run. You know, get the basics down. Let's just go catch some fish. Let's go have some fun. And like Drayton said earlier, you know, those first couple days, go catch you a bunch of fish. Get a good foundation, have some fun, work out the details. Even if you're like a very good fly angler and you haven't done this in a while, go knock some of the rust off. Just go have fun. And like the rest of your days, you can go do whatever. If you want to grind, we'll grind. You know, it's fine. But like those first few days, man, just go have some fun. I feel like expectations sometimes are just a little bit too high. And it's not to say that like it can't happen, but like let's just, and Travis Honeycutt says it best, just go fish.
Yeah.
Whatever happens is going to happen. Just go fish.
I like that. Dude, bouncing off of that. So I love 99.99% of the people who come into the shop. There's one guy that stands out in particular because he had the expectation that because he dropped whatever the cost of a guide trip is he just deserved to hold a 25-inch fish, basically. And he'd gone on one guide trip, got completely lucky. That happened. And then he came back for like a week and just like beat his guide into the ground. And like talking to the guide, like they'd actually hooked some nice ones despite this guy's abilities, and he like broke him off and then that kind of thing. And then he was mad at the end of the day that he didn't have his photo, and he actually came into the shop like basically trying to shop around for guides. And it was like, who, you know, how can I, this guide must not have been any good because I'm not holding a 25-inch fish on this trip. I'm like, did you hook any? Did you see any? There's a lot of like what's going on. And there was some other stuff too, but expectations I think is a good one. Just because you spend money on a guide trip doesn't mean you deserve a 25-inch fish in your hands. And
nobody deserves anything, man.
Yeah.
Y'all got to put your time in, put your work in, put your hours in. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. And some of it's luck too. And I mean, even if you haven't done all that, you might get lucky and you might get one, but you got to understand that was kind of a lucky thing and be grateful for it. But you shouldn't expect one the next day you're out.
No, especially if he's wanting like a 25 plus, everything has to go right to get that fish. Hooking that fish and landing that fish are two different things.
Yeah. And you had the pleasure of fishing with that guy, Drayton.
I did.
Drayton, that's what we're talking about. I don't even know.
I did.
Oh man. Well, what maybe kind of wrapping up on some continuing, but even more so positive stuff. For each of you guys, what's one of your favorite fish or fishing memories or stories from this last season?
I'll say I had like the first time I had a really, really, really good day. Is where, I mean, I guess technically the rookie season coming into this, like my first year, like there was a lot of like learning, like very, very at the beginning, like a lot of learning. I had to try to be a sponge of how conditions change, how bucks change, just like constantly on the move. And then like I had a day, it was the day that they ran 600 on the Watauga. I think it was like late spring or early summer. And I had a banner day. And like we caught like 75 fish and ended the day on a 20. And it was like, no, what can get better? I didn't change rigs the whole day.
No flies to the face.
No flies to face, like hardly any tangles. Like they were saltwater fishermen, so they could cast across the river. Basically, they were throwing laser beams everywhere. And that was probably like not like my welcome to the like it was just like, okay, I can breathe. Like this is like I did good today. Like I'm learning. I'm putting all these things in. Like a good pat on the back moment, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It was like my first one. That was like my big one. Like, okay, yeah, I belong here, because I think like confidence, like internal confidence as guides, is a huge deal. You know, like you got to be confident in what you're doing, where you're floating. Like if you lose confidence, then your anglers are going to lose confidence, and like you can't just, because they're all like looking at your body language. We are working a very specialized hospitality job, and I don't think a ton of people realize how much hospitality goes behind it. Like we're all the time accommodating folks, and so that day was the first time I was like, all right, I belong out here too. Like I can do this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got one, Drayton?
I got a few. So I think one of my favorite things this year has been, well, me and Corey really got to be good buddies like last fall. So me and my wife just went and listened to him play music and all that, and then he started getting in the game, and me and him fished a lot together, and that was probably one of the coolest things, is like just watching how much time he's put into it, how much effort he's put into it, and being a part, feeling like I was a little bit of a part of that. I wasn't all the part, but definitely watching him become the guy that he is now. I know me and you haven't had that. We've just been on opposite different ends of everything. But yeah, Corey is, I mean, it's just been amazing to see how far he's come in just a year. He's light years ahead of where I was in probably the first 3 years.
That's facts for me too.
And that was a really, that made me feel like I contributed a little bit. It wasn't much, but a little bit. And
For sure, you did.
that was probably my favorite thing of the whole year, just watching how successful you've become as a guide and as a friend and everything else like that, man.
I appreciate that. You made me tear up in here.
Sounds like a love story. What do we got going on?
Cut that out. Hey, edit that. Edit the tears.
I'm screenshotting you right now. That's going to be the cover
It'll be a
photo.
sticker, Corey's gonna make a text sticker out of that.
That's the thumbnail for the podcast.
Yeah.
It's gonna look like the Michael Jordan meme.
Oh God.
Oh man.
And another thing too, like, I mean, me and my wife have got to fish a lot more this year than we ever have gotten to in the past probably 3 or 4 years. And that's been a lot of fun. We've gotten, I mean, I was able to put her on some really nice smallmouth and watch her just enjoy and learn through that. And that was really cool. And just, I mean, since moving here, I've fished with so many new people that I didn't, not that I never thought I would fish with them, but just getting to go on the boat, share the time together, and just no pressure. Like it's been a really good year for that.
I've got a lot of I've had a lot of cool experiences with clients this year. Met a lot of amazing people that I've got to spend in the boat. You know, just life in general right now is just, I can't get much higher than where I'm at right now as far as just the way life is going for me. Truly, and I know we talk about all this stuff about what could go wrong and how hard our days are and how long our weeks are, but in my opinion, I truly have the best job in the entire world. Like I wouldn't change it. But like one specifically was, being at one point, I don't think I am now, but at one point I was the youngest guy on the river. And so like being around all these other guys, there's some doubts probably there, and I don't blame them. When I first started, I was 19 years old. And, but I got to meet a guy this spring. His name was Benny, and he was from up north, and he was actually the general manager of a fly shop. And he was the exact same age. Actually, he was a year younger than me. He was 22 years old. And we it was just me and him in the boat, and he had a group with him at the lodge. And the first day, I didn't fish with him, but they went and caught a bunch of fish. And then he fished with me the second day. But he came in with the right attitude, the right perspective. He knew what the program was. And we just went and had a daggone ball. I mean, we got a nice brown, like 9 o'clock in the morning, right off the rip. And it was fun to sit there and talk to somebody that kind of had experience, the doubts and the kind of, I wouldn't say the hard road. I mean, because all the guys that I work with and the people that I've met over the years with, especially these two guys, Drayton and Corey, I mean, it's just both of these guys have always been good to me. They've helped me in many different ways, but just to be able to talk and kind of experience the same thing with somebody my age was pretty freaking awesome. And then we got to catch a carp at the very end of the day, which is pretty freaking cool. I've had many people, laugh at me in my face because I'm like, here, throw that over in there and catch one of them carp. And then they're like, they hook one and it's like, God, this pool's really hard. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's part of the game. And it's just, I don't know. That's probably one of my favorite times of the year, just because of everything's kind of coming back to life. Fish are starting to get active. Bugs are starting to come back around. And life's just good, man. It's just, job's great. People are great. It's I can't get much better than where I'm at right now.
Nice. Well, I hadn't planned this, but I thought I'd tell kind of a story or observation or whatever. But when I graduated college, I moved to North Carolina to start a job. Moved to the Raleigh-Durham Chapel Hill area and kind of joined up with the TU group there. And so I was in my early mid-20s, and you kind of make friends with the people you fish with. So I had this friend group, and some TU groups are different age classes or whatever, but I made friends with a lot of people who are like in their 50s, 60s, 70s. So I've fast forward 10 years or 15 years or whatever, and I've been to a couple of funerals of those folks who were really good friends. But one thing I'll tell you that I noticed is you go there, and even on the handouts there, what you'll see oftentimes is that person holding a big fish. I've seen multiple of those from the South Holston River. One of those was on a trip that Justin Schroyer ran. So it's kind of weird to think about, but tomorrow you might make a lifelong memory for somebody that is kind of one of the highlights of their life, which is really kind of a special thing when you think about it.
Yep. It really is. And it makes your day all worth it when you have somebody look at you and like, that's my fish of a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Or like, that was the best day I've ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you guys a ton for the time tonight. Hopefully it was fun, and hopefully we can get together again soon at the next beer tie or something like that. Braydon, no pressure. I know you got responsibilities at home, but
man, I tell you, I knew being a dad would be hard, but this is a whole nother freaking level.
Yeah.
Like, I've been exhausted from my job, but baby exhaustion,
mm-hmm.
that don't even come close to job exhaustion. And credit to all the moms out there.
Yeah.
They go through a lot.
Yeah.
And they're warriors, man. They make my job look like a piece of cake.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, it'll slow down soon.
That's what everybody keeps telling me.
Well, that's a lie, so don't believe that.
I will tell you, we went out to eat tonight for my birthday, and mm-hmm. I was holding him, and he actually smiled for the first time, like, while he's awake, like intentionally smiled.
Oh,
so like that makes all the exhaustion like completely worth it. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. Well, let's go kind of one by one and let people know if they want to fish with you or have questions, want to get a hold of you, how to do that. Maybe starting with Drayton.
Okay. So I live in Bluff City, Tennessee, right on the Holston. But the company I do most of my booking out, all of my booking really, is Due South Outfitters out of Boone, North Carolina. You can contact them, email, websites, DueSouthOutfitters.com. Best way to get in touch with them with a phone call. And I do trout and smallmouth. So I do smallmouth up up in North Carolina, as well as smallmouth in Tennessee. So if you want to fish with me, I'm sure John will link it in the description of this mm-hmm. podcast. And I really appreciate that. Thank y'all.
Awesome. How about you, Braydon?
So I work for the South Holston River Lodge, southholstonriverlodge.com. Best way to reach them is with a phone call or an email. I do trout and smallmouth, and we also have a private stretch of water up in Virginia, and that is an option. That is all the booking that I do is through South Holston River Lodge. And then I'll have John link my cell phone number in the description too. But yeah.
Awesome. And how about you, Corey?
Yeah, I still live here in Elizabethton. So I work for mainly Trophy Water Guide Service, and then I also do a couple of other folks too in there. But you can mainly book me through them. On their website is a good way, but mainly a phone call. That way you can request a guide. Is the easiest way to do that is through over the phone, and that way you're sure to get me. I do a lot of the float trips just like those guys do on the South Holston and Watauga, but I have a real passion for the walking wades, for the education stuff on the small streams. So would love to get in there with you guys on that too.
And if someone wants to show up to a live show or download some of your music, where would they do that?
Yeah, they can find me Spotify, Apple Music, Corey J. Smith on there, Corey J. Smith. And then you'll find that on there.
And they'll probably be hearing a sample on the intro and outro here. I wonder if it's about to start right about now. Right now.
Right now. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you having me.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks
guys.
Thanks for letting us talk, man.
Absolutely. Well, thanks to everyone who listened until the end. This was just plain fun for me, and I hope it was for you as well. Don't forget, you can connect with Drayton, Corey, and or Braydon through our links in the description. And now for some music from Corey J. Smith.
And how that fire's burning hot, but it can't keep up with your touch. So